Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one, too, and all in between. This is for the absolute positive good God and truth of your lives to only cross bigger and better. If you look all around you at all creation of existence, of reality check of you, right, you will see that anything existing only exists one more positive than any negativity that would not have it here and now. Good as the truth of God of its shape, form, and mass to the reality check of it, okay? Now, any God that you think of, right, that God better be one more positive than all negativity of it. Good as the truth of God of it, right, as the bigger, better of its here and now, or it's no kind of God, okay? It's just negatively deficient of it, okay? It's the one nothing of it, all right? I'd like to think that all mankind are children of God. And I like to think that we were created in the image of God, one more positive than all negativity, good as the truth of God of our shape, form, and mass here and now, okay? That is the expression of us here and now. You only exist one more positive than all negativity that would not have you here and now, good as the truth of God of your shape, form, and mass. And as a reality check, right, as long as you keep your shape, form, and mass more positive than negative, you are stated good as truth. And you cannot be destroyed for that. Nothing in all creation of existence, right, is destroyed for being more positive than the negatives of it, except the negatives of it, okay? It is the one nothing of all negativity to be more positive than negative. Everything creation of existence is made of atom matter evolved, okay? And I don't care if it's one atom or a mountain of atoms, okay? As long as these atoms stay more positive, good as the truth of their shape, form, mass, than negative, right, they cannot be destroyed, okay? Again, as long as you stay more positive than any negativity about your life, right, you can't be destroyed. All atoms' creation of existence is made of protons and neutrons, okay, on the inside and an electron field on the outside. All matter puts off its own energy, right, if it's not you. And depending on your polarity is depending on how you absorb this energy, either one more positive, right, or one more negative to the good truth of your shape, form, and mass being expressed to the bigger and better of you here and now. The protons of all atoms, right, are two up quarks, one down quark of energy, okay? And the neutrons are two down quarks of energy and one up quark of energy. The proton is the positive energy of the good God and truth of all reality check of matter, okay? And the neutron isn't neutral. It isn't nothing of a charge. It's the soul and the matter of you, and it's always negatively deficient of stabilizing its own self, only more positive than negative always. And without this proton always overwhelming any negative charge of the neutron, it's always in a state of radioactive decay and disintegration on the inside and the outside of an atom. And on the outside of an atom, whenever it's not overwhelmed more positive than negative, it's in a state of radioactive decay and disintegration. And as part of a neutron star, right, it turns into a pulsar with this negative energy, and the matter of it can't sustain it over a volume of time and extremes, and it collapses into a black hole abyss, just infinitely negative of it here and now, the one nothing of it here and now. And when you don't cross more positive than negative always, right, with your decision making, right, good as the truth of God of your shape, form, and mass, to where this proton can always overwhelm the negative charge or any negative charge of the neutrons of you to make them one, to make it one nothing of negative, right? you're in a state of decay and disintegration to the good truth of your shape, form, and mass. The only way anybody, right, of mankind can crisscross negative with negativity is through the faith of them. No faith is good as truth, or that's all we'd have been from Adam and Eve all the way up to the here and now of reality check. That's all you would be for the faith of you is good as truth. But no faith is lasting good as truth. All faith is negatively deficient of what's good as truth, stating the negatives of it is bad, evil, and sinful. And with this articulation, this unevolved articulation, it does not state to cross back always more positive than negative. And whenever you crisscross with faith, it's a gamble and it's a crapshoot on your life lasting, because again, the expression and the articulation to only cross back more positive always is not there. It's blind negative to it, to the reality check of the shape, form, and mass expressing it faithfully. And when you crisscross with faith, it's negative to the neutron, because the neutron can only be stabilized one more positive with energy. And when you crisscross with faith again, by decision, right, it is negative to the neutron, and it's a snake on the matter and the soul of you, the neutron of you. And what happens is over a volume of time and through extremes, when you crisscross negative with negativity, it's the incarnate out he shafting devil of all people, places, and things. I mean, to cross negative with negativity is the devil spawn of all people, places, and things, okay? Because you're not bringing them back to a more positive way to keep them good as truths, right? As a reality check of your shape, form, and mass. And in reality, like I said, over a volume of time and extremes, your matter, the soul of you, right, not being overwhelmed more positive than negative, can't sustain it, and you collapse into a black hole abyss, your life to death, just infinitely negative of the good truth of God of your shape, form, and mass here and now with the devilish hells of you forevermore. Don't be that guy. God, truth, reality check. When you plug a plug into the wall, right, the positive has to overwhelm anything negative about that plug, because if not, you'll either burn your house down or you won't have enough energy to sustain. But as long as this plug the positive overwhelms anything negative about that plug, there's zero chance you could burn your house down or won't have enough energy to sustain. You're half male and you're half female. Only cross one more positive, right? Male with energy, good as the truth of God of you, than all female matters of negativity. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth to the reality check of your shape, form, and mass. And any atom, matter, evolved creation of existence that's more positive than negative cannot be destroyed. They are stated good as truth. And by the physics and laws of all known matter, anything that's stated more positive than negative can only be the bigger and better of its shape, form, or mass here and now, good as the truth of God of it. And if a man or a woman, it's alive and well. And it's the only way you can state as a child of God. Look, anywhere on earth, it's not stated more positive than negative, right? By the reality check of mankind, good as the truth of God of it, right? As children of God of it, right? It's the spawn of the devil. Anytime you crisscross negative with negativity, stating for God or country, right, that this is the bigger, better, good God and truth of your reality check, it's a lie on all things, good God and truth of you. And when our leadership does it, right, stating that people, places, and things cross bad, evil, and sinful, it's an unevolved leadership. It's unqualified governance, it's unqualified judgment, and it's unqualified bias laws of prosecution. If you think that caging your fellow man, right, industrially caging your fellow man, is the most positive value of your leadership to deal with anything negative about them, that's no good as truth, because in reality check, we're not animals. And if you knew that the only way you could ever be destroyed is to crisscross negative with negativity, right? For the most part, all mankind would only be good as truth to the absolute bigger, better of them. And all else is an outlier of it, right? The spawn of the devil of it, right? And even caging them like animals is no good as truth, because they're always in a state of decay and disintegration for their negative way. And as the leadership of you, when you crisscross negative with negativity with them, right? Creating jails, prisons, wars, right? Stating bias, victims, and crooks, instead of only crossing all mankind of you more positive than negative by articulation, right? By the reality check of them, right? You are the incarnate devil of all people, places, and things, because it states from your leadership on down. Listen, I have children. If they're doing something negative and then I come along and make their lives more negative for it, right? Okay? I'm not a good father as truth, right? I'm not treating them like children of God. I'm treating them like the spawn of the devil. You don't hate your children, right? And you don't war your children, and you don't create industries of incarceration out of your children. You only show them a more positive and lighted way to keep them good as truth, always to an absolute bigger, better of their here and now reality check. You can tell a doggy or a monkey, sit, stay, lay, right? No, bad boy, bad girl, good boy, good girl. But you will never be able to tell these animals to only go do something more positive than the negatives of them. It's the only way they can add up, stay, or be good as truth to an absolute bigger, better here and now of their reality check, alive and well. How about you? At one time, the earth was a true sister reflection of the Son of God, of all I am, Christ-like, with pyramids all over all, okay? And with the Holy Spirit of God at every point in time and space, I am. And at every point of these pyramids were God kings. And some of them lived hundreds of thousands of years. Some of them lived thousands of years, you know. And the earth, right, was he shafted by a snake god devil of faith. Shiva shafted by the negative Samuel spirit of Yahweh of faith, of your way of faith, of Yahweh of faith. You'd be way off with your faith, right? The spawn of the devil gods of all mankind. See, I'm going to show you something. Any god that wants to flood the world, right, to destroy their children, right, or state them as anything but more positive than negative, until the negative of them is 1-0, whether it's the 1-0 of them or the 1-0 of their lives, only doing more positive than negative, right? There's no kind of God. They're the devil of all things. And Adam woke up in the garden, okay? He was the God and the king of the megalithic world. He was eons and eons old. He was the good truth of God, of the man up of all I am. And he had amnesia, and he didn't know how he come to the garden to be in that place, but he knew that he was created good as truth, never to be destroyed, okay? And because he had amnesia, a sort of amnesia, he couldn't get his bearings on reality, to only cross all things negative back one more positive to keep him good. And like I said, when Shiva shafted the world, right, as a snake god devil of faith, right, like I said, on the inside of your matter, the protons and neutrons of you, if it's not more positive than negative, right, good as the truth of God of you, all you have is faith. And with this articulation, right, not only is it the he shafting devil of all people, places, and things when you state it, but when it was stated to the world, it destroyed the world in such a way that only the garden, right, was a hospitable place on earth. And everything of the megalithic world was destroyed, and Adam couldn't get his bearings again on reality check. And Shiva presented him with Eva at his rib, at his side, at all sides of him. And he looked up at her, and she was the best thing going in the garden. So he took on this faith of Eve, and through this fruit of faith, right, he was a snake on his matter for the next 930 years. And that snake god devil of the garden, right, used this unevolved knowledge, right, to put us in bondage and slavery through the mind, from the mind through the body to the world. See, 1/3 of the God Kings rebelled against Adam and the good God and truth of the megalithic world, being more positive than negative. And they were the he shafting angels, and they were the men and women, right, who overthrew the world and caused it to come to this unevolved state of being. And if Adam would only crossed Eve back one more positive, right, good as the truth of God of their shape, form, and mass, whenever crisscrossed with all negativity, that would only been the articulation of Cain and Abel, and that would have been the bigger, better standard of here and now today, because there is no bigger, better standard than crossing your fellow man more positive than negative always, to keep them good as truth with knowledge that will only make their lives bigger and better. Nobody wants to destroy that who has a mind to understand it. And Jesus understood that through the Jewish religion, we were being gypped, okay? This menorah is a Shiva shafting light and lingam, okay? And he understood that through the language, through how it was expressed, right? It wasn't expressed like our letters, and it isn't expressed. The old style Israel writings are not expressed like our writings. And in reality check, it had us tongue tied, right, to expressing only to do more positive than negative always, to keep us good as truth, okay? And in reality check, he understood that, and that's why he was one more positive than negative, good as the truth of God of his shape, form, and mass, as an example and expression, right, of a life that never dies. That's why when they put him on the cross, him and the thief stowed their lives back from all that foolish, faithful negativity that hung that fool out to one neutral nothing, just infinitely negative of him here and now, and all them fools of faith that put him on the cross. And the thief believed, and Jesus said, "You'll be in paradise with me." And he's the one who rolled back the tomb, let Jesus out, set him on his rightful, truthful way, right? You can't kill something more positive than negative, good as the truth of God of it. That doesn't happen in reality check, right? Nowhere creation of existence can you come to any suffering or harm that you can't be the bigger and better of, stated more positive than negative. And that was the good God and truth of Jesus, and that was the reality check of the thief. And he rolled back the tomb. He sent Jesus on his rightful, truthful way. Mary seen him. He was shining more positive than negative. She said, "Where's Jesus?" He said, "I released him from the tomb." And he went that way. She gave him a kiss and called him an angel. And this is how this happened. If the earth, right, doesn't stay more positive than anything negative about it, right? If the sun doesn't shine more protonic than anything negatively neutronic about the earth, life as we know it cannot keep existing, or it can exist, okay? And when Shiva shafted the world as a snake god devil of faith, right, he put all mankind in bondage from the mind through the body to the world. But I'm here to relieve you of your bondage. And I'm here to let you know that you are a child of God. And to state anything less than one more positive than negative always, right? Through your faith is the spawn of the devil of you. And it will only destroy you and kill you out to one nothing. You can't suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die being a child of God more positive than anything negative of you. And if you are a lawmaker, or you're the governance, or you're the judgment of all mankind, and you're not doing that. You are the spawn of the devil, and you're only destroying your lives negative, the one neutral, nothing, just infinitely negative of you here and now, a black hole abyss on your matter. To all you love, cherish, and despise, don't hate. And in reality check, the state of one more positive than negative is the only light, joy, warmth, good God, or truth, holy with spirit, all will ever know or be. It's the only state that all in body and matter is stated good to the truth of God, their shape, form, and mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now. And if a man or a woman, it's alive and well. It's the only state that all prayers are answered in, all miracles happen in, all dreams come true in, and it's the only heavenly abode and paradise you'll ever know or be in. Where two or more atoms cross and bond Christ-like, one more positive than negative, they make the good God and truth of every shape, form, and mass you can think of, not to exclude every dimension of time and space you can think of, and every shape, form, and mass of the God of Allah of all, for everlasting peace I am. The absolute good truth of God, of the life of Jesus Christ of all I am. The Christ-like man up of all I am. The Son of God of all I am. With the thieving Holy Spirit out of all mankind's negativity to one neutral nothing I absolutely positively am. The Father, Son, and thieving Holy Spirit of all mankind's negativity to one neutral nothing I absolutely positively am. The 3 times male God, King, Adamus, man, bonding Adam man evolved of all God, truth, reality check I am. And that is in fact a God check. Again, from the fool, thief, man, God, King, Adamus, of all mankind, God, truth, reality check I am. Peace.